Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountant. We are here. We are live. We are 2 minutes late, but I had to do some temporary setting changes because we'd already changed everything to go live on location last week. But as always, I'm here and joined by my co-host, Mr. Aaron Patrick. Aaron, how are you, and how was your weekend?
Very good, thank you. I mean, it's weird, isn't it, that we've had this whole week between. It felt like such a huge week with everything we're about to talk about and everything that goes on, and back to the calmness. There's no technical difficulties yet, fingers crossed. So yeah, it's nice. It was funny that if you look back on the last one, where for the first, was it 5 minutes? Silence. as we thought we were talking, and everyone was
no audio.
No audio, which turned out to be a good thing, as someone may have said some naughty words that will now never be on the thing. So what about your weekend? How was it? Is it good? Bad? Indifferent?
I slept most of it.
Really? Was that so? ICB took it out of you that much?
It's just a long week. Like, travel down on the Sunday, drink Sunday night, ICB event all day Monday, Luca Awards that night, 5 hours worth of bleeding podcasting the next day, home by midnight on Tuesday night, over to Glasgow Wednesday for a user visit. Thursday was back-to-back meetings. Friday, I was back-to-back meetings and meeting someone for a coffee to discuss how Engage could help them. Literally, last night, mate, I was on the chair at 8:30 last night. It's no good. I'm going to bed. I'm broken. I was ruined.
So you're telling me you didn't stay up to watch I'm a Celebrity? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't even realize that was back on. And, I mean, can we call them celebrities at this point?
Oh, I mean, GK Barry.
Now?
Do you not know who GK Barry is?
No, not got a clue. But yeah, so
Rooney's wife. I did say wife.
So anyway, yeah, it was a bloody long week. It was hard work, but a fantastic week. And I think we just need to take a moment to congratulate Amy and Sobi and Elizabeth and the team at ICB for a fantastic event. The summit was brilliant. We did a lot of Ask the Bookkeeper podcasts. Aaron got a goodies bag because Aaron didn't have enough bags to carry home already.
I'm not sure I like the main logo, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
And the Isle of Yes. But yeah, it was a fantastic event. Really well organized. Hard work, though. I mean, Christ.
Yeah.
It was difficult for the podcasting, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, it's an interesting layout, isn't it? I mean, it's not our typical, isn't it? I think
the agenda was a bit that caused the headache.
Yeah, it's more of a road showy type of layout, isn't it? Which is fine. But we've definitely forget. And what about for you though? Because this is what your second proper one. How did that feel? Because there was only two of you, right?
There was two of us. I don't think we needed any more than that. That was absolutely fine. Well, there's three of us. Katie was about as well. But
yes.
So, and I said this to Amy and Elizabeth on the day. It's like at Accountex and all those big events, your adrenaline's up here and it stays there for the whole day. And like that, you can do 2-3 days of an event, no problems at all.
Yeah.
Because of the agenda and everyone going into the main stage and then your downtime, your adrenaline's up here while everyone's on a break. Then it crashes while everyone's getting spoken to on stage. Then it goes back up. By 2:00, I was ruined. And let's face it, you and I do quite a lot of exhibitions and events. Like, if anyone can handle the stamina, it's you and me. So for me to go at 2:00 and go, I'm broken. I can't do it anymore. This is ridiculous. Like, from an exhibitor's point of view, that agenda is awful. You almost need a bigger team for that event to swap people in and out and give them a break.
Yeah. But I guess, though, the thing is about these events is the exhibitors are not the main focus, are they? These events, we love Account X and Fab and all the others because really there's almost like a level playing field, right? It's exhibitors, speakers, and then networking. Well, even I suppose in the others, like networking almost comes down a little bit, doesn't it? It's almost like a second tier, where this one is people are coming for the talks, people are coming to network, and then they're just grateful that there's a few exhibitors there, aren't they? That's kind of the feel you get from this one.
Yeah, definitely. And the other great part of the event was meeting our community and meeting our users and our viewers and our listeners. So let's go through that list of people that have said good morning. So we have got, and Aaron, can you just stop messing around with the bear? Come on, pay attention. So good morning to Cheryl, good morning to Dave, good morning to Natasha, Paul Whitehouse, good morning to Leanne, good morning to Kirsty. Can't believe it's been a week already. Has it only been a week? I feel so broken, so many levels. Good morning to the first time watcher. Now I'm going to butcher your name, Chi Young. I apologize if I've made a mess of that, but great to see you. I
may have got this wrong, but isn't he the escape room?
The escape room bookkeeper or something like that?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, nice met him on the day. That was great to meet him. Good morning. And Kirsty says, welcome. It's a fun show. It's, well, disorganized. I'll give it that. Dave says, time flies when it's great to, and it was great to see the team, and congratulations to engage like that. Thank you very much. We'll come back to that. Welcome to Sam again. Cheryl, none of us are watching that anymore. I assume we're talking about celebrity. I'm a celebrity.
Oh, I thought about our show. Wow.
What did you do?
Jumps on. Nobody's watching that anymore. Bye.
Good morning to Paul. Good to see you at the event. Good morning to Carl, Marcus, and of course, Sue Green. Lovely to see you all again. And lovely to meet so many of you at the ICB event. That was fantastic. So thank you very much for joining us and coming over and saying hello. So we had the ICB event. Oh my God, it's like dealing with a child. Aaron, put it down. So we had the ICB summit, which was a great day. I was a bit surprised how much gossip was on the event on the exhibitor floor compared.
Who knew the ICB could have a bit of a gossip going?
It was very interesting. So yeah, once all that gossip becomes official, we'll obviously talk about it in our roundup of the news. But then in the evening, we had a fantastic event in the form of Luca Awards. I mean, it went down in your estimations at one point, didn't it? Because Xero won Bookkeeping Software of the Year award. But, you know, all of a sudden you just got up, stormed out. Bookkeepers don't know anything.
Split the table.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a fantastic event, very well organized. Your first ICB conference, Aaron?
First conference, second Luca. Yeah, and first for you both, wasn't it? Yeah, no, I think when we went to the Luca Awards, we didn't really know what to expect last year. It was just really honoured to be invited. I was going basically in your steed, wasn't I? Because you were away at that point. And also been invited by Engager to come along and enjoy it. And you know, great event. The idea of kicking back and having a few bevies and celebrating the winners and all that sort of stuff.
I think you might have had more than a few. I've seen videos of you dancing.
What can I say? You know, so I was on Strictly once, so you know that's where I got it from. So yeah, that's the one video. My Strictly video is the one video that's never allowed to hit the internet, but that's for various reasons. So last year was, enjoyed having that thing, but I think this year really does thing, because during the Lucas, everyone was coming up to us and going, where was Client Engager? Where were they? Where was their stand? It was almost like a bit of a why weren't you there sort of idea. But this year we had the chance to, well, you guys were there as Engager official, and also we got to do the podcasting as well. And I think it's a really wholesome event, isn't it? Like all together, like it they say it, don't they? You cut the ICB members and they bleed ICB. You can't say that about any other professional body out there. I mean, certainly not the ones I'm associated with. I think AAT is getting there. I think AAT is starting to build up a bit of a community. They're starting to right the wrongs and starting to go in the right direction. I can't say that about any of the other professions that I'm part of, but that's one for another day. This is about being positive, right? But that's the point of this, right? They're so passionate about it. They want to talk, and every one of the pit stop podcasts were full of energy. They were just so happy to be there. And every one of them was like, yeah, and this is my 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever number it was year, and it gets better and better each year and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was brilliant. What did you think to it? Was it your expectations? Because we've both now done one Accounting Excellence Awards as well. Yeah. Like that's the only thing we can really compare it to properly. But what did you think? Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah.
Food okay?
These events are much of a muchness. To be fair, I felt the food at the ICB Luca Awards was far better than the Accounting Excellence Awards.
Controversial.
But yeah, I think it was a well-organized evening. I think it was very slick. They got on with it and stuff. So yeah, no, it kind of met my expectations. It's what I was expecting from it. I think any event where we get to dress up a bit and, you know, spend some time recognizing the achievements of those around us is always a good event to have.
I think everyone else enjoys dressing up. I'm not 100% sure I enjoy dressing up, but hey, you know, you got to be.
How can you not enjoy dressing up in a green velvet leading
because of the heat?
That is true.
Melted.
Yeah, no, it was a very good event. Very, very good. And lots of our regular users were up for awards and won awards, which was great. And I think the software awards really, like, this is the only awards show that has software awards.
And we grilled Amy on this, didn't we? So if you want to listen to why it's the only one, then make sure you listen to her episode of We Have Cool Friends. It'll be due out in the next month or so.
Yeah. But I think the software awards this year kind of, I think it showed a pivot in bookkeepers.
In some cases.
In bookkeepers' appreciation of software, and the fact that they were open and supporting newer softwares in the space, that the dominance of the bigger, longer in the tooth softwares is over in many places. So we've got data capture app of the year. Normally auto entry, Dext, they would dominate that, but Apron came and won that one. And Apron also picked up payments provider of the year. Again, something like Go Cardless and other softwares like that would dominate.
100%.
Reporting and analysis software of the year. Normally a safe bet for Dex, Futurely, SIF Analytics, things like that. But no, Xenon came in and took that one. And the bit I really like about all of these is that these ones are voted for by users. It's not judged. It is all based on users putting their votes in, which I think is everything you need to know. Business Bank of the Year, Starling. Maybe that's a bit out of the.
Is it time to sunset that award? Like, realistically, what are they doing differently now? I get when the challenger banks came along, and I suppose it was let's shout out what the challenger banks are doing and everything else, but it's just negativity around it at the moment, right? Like,
Business Bank Award, have they won that by bypassing AML checks that they should have been doing, which has ended up with £29 million worth of fines? Metro Bank last week, £16 million worth of fines for AML failures.
Yeah, Revolut's struggling to get the license over the door. It feels like it's like bad news all the time.
Yeah. I think there's a credibility issue in banking at the moment. Payroll and HR software, BrightPay, but where's the competition? Like,
that's the problem, right?
Buddy,
I know your friend Buddy's there, but
Well, they weren't even shortlisted for this award.
Exactly.
Like they're too new, I think. Practice Management App of the Year Award, Engager, amazing, thank you, loved it. But again, where's the competition at the moment?
There's that, and also, you know, it felt like last year was a bit of a robbery, if I'm completely honest, because it was up against them, and it was great to see Bright kind of. They came up to you and, you know, congratulated you, and as you've already said, like, you reset now. It's time. You both reset. It's time to go for next year. I feel with that category though, like when you look at the others there, where was the actual, you know, full blown practice management? Because you've got TaxCalc that was on there. Well, they don't really. Yes, they have a practice management solution, but it's just a bolt on, right? Sage for Accountants, zero practice manager. I mean, they could have whacked in QuickBooks for what it's worth in there. Probably not, but yeah.
Even the QuickBooks chap said that's not even practice management, task management.
But you know, out of that, there's only 2 dedicated practice management solutions. But where's the rest of them? And especially for the the bookkeeping community, like, if anything, that's where Pixie really did have an opportunity to be a little bit more relevant, right? Because of the chance it can go into those granular details, and you can really set your tasks up similar to what you can on Engager and a little bit on Bright. But I just feel like that category, where are the you know, the standalones gone? Like, why are they not relevant, other than obviously you guys doing so well and Bright being there as almost a legacy product at this stage, right? We're
in that position at the moment, aren't we, where the standalones have now been acquired.
Yes.
That's been dominating for the last 5+ years. There's new startups, and that cycle's begun again. So, yeah. Tax and Accounts Production Software of the Year, TaxCalc. I mean, I can't say why, but based on the conversations I had with several very high up level people at TaxCalc at the event, that's only going to get better now. Like, that investment they've got is going to accelerate the speed of development now from them. Like, that they've got a very exciting 2-3 years ahead of them now.
I agree with that, but I think next year, if they're not talking about cloud and that's not on the horizon, then realistically, should they be winning that software of the year? They should almost turn that into a cloud one at this point, right? Yeah. We don't go and say, well, we'll have a practice management software that we can install on our machines, right? Like, I feel like this is the year where we've just got to go, right, as long as they're in conversations, it's not going to happen overnight, right? That's a huge job to make that a cloud-based product. But if that investment's there and they're not looking at cloud and that's not their next steps, we can't say yes or no to that. But that has to be for them to be relevant next year. And then you look at who they're against. Bright Tax, you know my views on Bright Tax. It's a clunky solution, unfortunately, that didn't quite work. And then, yeah, and then you take your Sage, your Zeros, your QuickBooks. They're great products in their own right, but they're not proper accounting production software solutions, right? They are.
I'd argue Sage has got proper accounting and tax return solutions.
It's there, but it's still not. It still doesn't do everything, right? It's still got a step to go. It's still not Sage for account, like a SAP or whatever it was called back in the day. SAP was amazing. Like, Sage Accounts Production was one of the best solutions out there in its day, in its heyday. It's still not that, right? Like, that's not what they're providing. It's still almost like a stripped back solution for it. And then it's just a shame, like, the KPMG nominees didn't get even nominated for this one, right? And I think that's more to do with probably the bookkeeping industry not really going down that route, because they don't need the bookkeeping solution that's part of it. They're using others. But yeah, I think next year, if this isn't a TaxCalc looking to go in the cloud and see how that goes, I just feel like that place there needs a shot up the arm, doesn't it? It needs something to go, right, this is how to provide for it.
Yeah, so Emerging App of the Year was Expert.
Amazing.
Well done to them. Buddy were in there as well. There was some really interesting ones. Approval. How the hell did they get into Emerging App of the Year?
I thought the same. Like, that's literally. Is it just because the bookkeeping community finally heard of them? It's like, oh, these approval people. Like,
I don't know.
Strange, wasn't it?
I don't think. Yeah, they've been there a long time. They shouldn't have been in that award category, but never mind. Friendliest bookkeeping software of the year, Free Agent. debatable. I don't think their response time is under 7 minutes. I don't think they have live support throughout the day and night, 7 days a week. But you know what? It's one we're going to keep striving for at Engager, because the fact that, as you said, like the moment we sat down from getting the Practice Management App of the Year award, it's like amazing. I said, the work starts now to maintain it next year. Like that's it. We start straight away. And free agent, we're coming for you. You've got a legacy of having friendliest software of the year, and we're going to be out friendlying you. So we're coming for you. We want to. So yeah, we shall see how that goes.
What I like about that one though is that's one of the ones where there's definitely in the room you could tell it was who's going to win that one.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of them? If we're completely honest,
some real funny reactions.
Yeah, but the rest of them, there wasn't that many surprises, was there?
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like a lot of them were because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's voted by the members, right? Like that's who comes in. So you can't.
All of these software awards are nominated by members and then voted for by members. There's no judging involved in the software element of these awards.
And you could tell in the room, like there was a popularity almost of this particular software is the software that we all love and work with because it's got all of these great features and there's champions in the room who are pushing for them, right? So I get that. Like there's a reason that everyone won their particular awards, and that's great. That friendliest software one though, I generally couldn't call that one. It was there's a new challenger on the block. Free agents won it every single year since day dot. There's an opportunity there, and shout out to the others on that list. Not Pop and Zero, but shout out to the others on that list. Great. That is a great category. I think it's clearly there's two at the top that are leading the way, but you want that's the one that you want to be at least nominated for going forward, right? And that kind of shows an importance there. So yeah, I wasn't shocked that free agent won it. I think they clearly have a pedigree in there, but like you said, that's an opportunity to improve going forward, isn't it? And win the hearts and minds of bookkeepers going forward.
Definitely. And then Bookkeeping Software of the Year award, Xero, which I mean, you practically spat your drink out at that. You were fuming. You nearly got up and walked out.
I almost Well, I think I was close to heckling. Hey, look. You guys, you ICB people, you can love, your Xero solution, everything else, but tell me what they've done for you in the last 2 years. Over the give you fonts. Like, come on, people, come on.
I mean,
but yeah, look, they're loved by the ICB community, aren't they? Because that's what they've been able to build most of their work on. Just have a look at the competition. That's all I can say.
I mean, to be in line with Xero winning that award, their annual financial reports came out, didn't it? So let's have a quick look at that. I mean, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you increase your prices. So revenue up 25%. Yet number of licenses down by about 160,000. Because it turned out, and those 160,000 are ones that they've been counting for 2 years in their figures, but are inactive and have been for 2 years. So an active license
paid for though, right? They're a paid for license,
but they're a shell of a license. So like any license that's being paid for with Xero, even if it's not being used, counts in their figures. Whereas in Free Agent, when they publish their figures, and they're very open and proud about this, like any licenses that aren't being used do not get included in the figures, because all they're interested in is how many licenses are actually being used. So turnover up 25%, memberships down by 160,000, and I think they'll be much further down if you actually rip out all the other licenses that are inactive. And stable profit. So the profit's not gone up, even though the revenue's gone up 25%. And what was the stat you gave me earlier, Aaron, about QuickBooks R&D versus Xero's annual revenue or something?
Yeah, so congratulations for Zero for increasing their revenue by, was it 25%? You said, I think it was that figure. But their overall revenue is still lower than Intuit's R&D spend in a year. So, put that into comparison. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I know it's a
But
completely different beast, isn't it?
they
But
are the Bookkeeper Software of the Year award.
yeah, well, I think that has
You
something
are
to.
the equipment winning that.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose impressive numbers for the shareholders, isn't it? That 25% year-on-year increase. That's great to hear. But what are they spending that on? Especially when they're saying the profits are still stable. Like, I mean, they're not going to be next year because they've had the big acquisition. That's got to have hit. That's going to hit them, right? In one way or another.
I can tell you where they're spending it on.
Come on then.
Good news. Xero have announced they will join the MTD IT pilot in April. I mean, nothing like a bit of last minuteness, is there?
So they are committed to MTD then. They do see MTD as something that's going to be like, that's interesting. Interesting to see that they were thinking, but they do realize they need to develop more than just fonts to be able to produce and deliver an MTD submission, right?
I don't know. Having dealt with HMRC for their APIs, I would argue that they'd be quite impressed by different fonts.
Is that what it is? Maybe they put the winner all along. Like, it was just like, put your R&D into what font you're going to put out there. This is how it's going to be. Look, they were always going to be involved, weren't they? And I actually don't blame him. I think why after the softwares have been burnt so many times, why even bother being in the beta for any of these? Like, if HMRC can't keep to their original things, we've seen the world of Hammock, we've seen the world of Coconut, like we've seen all of these ones get absolutely burnt because of all these changes and everything else. So I don't blame. Like, for me, Xero shouldn't even be bothered at this point. Like, they should just wait until it's finally out and then cobble it together. Like, that's what HMRC deserve at this point. They don't deserve software solutions spending millions of pounds in R&D budgets and putting together all these new UIs and making things work when HMRC themselves can't commit to it, right? Like, I just feel like this is it. It's interesting though, what product are they going to really push? Because Xero Go doesn't exist anymore. So what is their entry level? What is their it's the one? Is it the lowest version that's all, whatever it's called now? Because they changed all the names, right? So I can't remember what the new naming structure is.
I think they never mind which license they're going to put in. They need to sort out a fundamental flaw in their MTD approach as it is.
What's that?
So I've got a login to 2 different accounting firms because I've got 3 different firms on Xero. Yeah. Because of that, I can't file VAT returns on any of them.
Because you've got more than one.
Yeah. But it's all right because I can give different team members permission to file. So I can't file it. I can't even see the VAT 100 report myself in Xero. But it's all right because I can give permissions for other people to see and do it.
Yeah.
It's beyond backwards.
It's backwards, but I suppose it's a niche issue for them, isn't it? Right? Like, how many?
Not an issue in QuickBooks. Not an issue in Free Agent. No.
You've just said 2 quality softwares. You know what I mean? Like, the world's friendliest and the
runner-up bookkeeping software.
Was it even runner-up? I don't know. Look, yeah, I think those sort of things. What I'm interested in from a Xero point of view is how are they going to tackle those without Xero Go? Because I was one of the few people who actually thought poorly implemented, like terribly implemented, but the idea of Xero Go, loved that idea. I thought that was a great, and I generally thought that was something that could actually really help the MTD whatever you want to call them now, community, because that's what they need, right? They need low hanging fruit. We need to be able to get this over the line. What we don't want to do for the MTD side of things is make it stupidly complicated. We need it to be simplified. We need it to be easy. That's why Champion, any software out there, is going to make a really simple solution for them. And I thought Xero Go was that. Isn't their lowest version, whatever it's called now, isn't it still limited to 5 invoices a month or something daft like that? And that's not helping anyone, is it, from an MTD point of view?
no, that you're going to be forced onto the middle package.
Yeah, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's like 30 quid or something like that, right? Which is steep for some of these like smaller ones, especially if it's a lot of these MTD ITSA ones are going to be, they're going to be accidental MTD ones, right? They've got a bit of a side hustle here, or it's not their main form of income, or they do a bit of Uber driving or whatever it's going to be that's going to hit them over that threshold. It's not a low threshold, right? It's not an insignificant threshold, and especially with it coming down year on year. I just feel like there needs to be really simple software out there. Obviously, QuickBooks Sole Trader hits all those buttons. It's not quite there yet. It needs a bit of work to it, but every one of the software solutions out there need to be doing that. I suppose Free Agent can kind of get away with it because it's, well, as long as you've got a Metal or a NatWest account, it's free of charge, right? So they don't quite need to develop a whole new solution. But I do feel like your Zeros and everything else, they need that zero go. That's what they needed for this. And just be interesting to see how they, or where they implement it. If it's just in the main product, I'm not 100% sure that's exactly where it needs to be. And I feel like, if anything, that's going to put people off using Zero for MTD because
it's not a market they seem interested in, is it?
No.
Yeah. And I do wonder if that's why they've left it until 12 months before the release of MTD. It's before they even start looking at this, because they know actually at our price point, it's just not going to be something we're going to be dominant in that space with. Like, there's too much competition at the lower end of the value metrics. Yeah.
But is there too much competition? Are we missing something? What else is there? Like the banks?
Nice little segue for me. Thank you, Aaron. Dex Solo.
Up, you knock it out of the park.
Dex Solo is going to be joining the MTD pilot if it's not already joined. Now, Dex Solo, right? Can you remember Dex Solo?
I still have nightmares over that. Remember that demo we saw?
Was it November 20? It was before Fab was Fab.
Accounting Web Expo. That's how dated it was.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, Dex Solo gets announced as Dex general ledger solution that's going to help MTD ITSA people. I mean, it was piss poor.
Yeah.
Like, you had 2 choices. You either ran off the bank statement or you ran off your receipts. You couldn't do both.
Oof. How dare you want to do both? How dare you want to have a bank and accept cash at the same time?
Around here. But yeah, so Dex have reaffirmed that Dex Solo does still exist. They're dusting off the mothballs. The cobwebs have been cleared. It's been sat dormant for that amount of time. But it's now on or about to join the MTD pilot. So yeah, I mean, we've always said it kind of makes sense for Dex to be going into the general ledger world.
Yeah, auto entry is just coming, right? And it makes sense for that, doesn't it? Like, we're already extracting the data. Why not use that data instead of having to put it to another solution to do our smaller clients, just to get them over? 31st of January is coming up. It seems like the right thing to do, right? You throw all those, you get that shoebox of receipts, you scan them in, you throw them in, and then you extract it from there. That seems like a valid workflow, right?
It does. So yeah, so I get it, and I get that this is a really good way for Dex to get into that general ledger arena. It's going to need significant improvements. Basically, what they hadn't considered was clients. Like, they went, oh, you could do this way or this way. It's like, clients tend to do a hybrid of both. What? Like, yeah, their research needs improving, I think. But it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they get into the market with this. And on top of that, Dex have also announced Dex to payments. I mean, can you remember last November at the QuickBooks Roadshow?
So not just one event. We're talking, I mean, I've got a whole list of the events they said it on. I mean, we can just go down this list of when they said it. But what did they say? Remind me again what they said at these locations.
They were obviously getting a bit upset about Apron releasing or announcing the release of receipt capture.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the words from Paul, who was, I can never remember his job title, but he is up there, was some softwares need to stay in their lane. And he didn't just say that privately. He said that on stage.
Multiple of these events, was it not?
Multiple of those events. some softwares need to stay in their lane. Well, they've obviously decided that's not the approach because they're now launching their general ledger software again, and they're now going to do DEX payments. So it'll be, I've not seen any information about costs of this software. I mean, it'll be extortionately expensive knowing DEX. It'll be cheaper to go around and pay in pound coins than it will be to actually make a payment through DEX, knowing them and their price points. But, they've got a captive audience. And then they're obviously hemorrhaging users to other solutions such as Apron because you get the payments built in. So, let's see what it's like, see what the pricing is. I'm curious as to how competitive that pricing is going to be. Have they learned their lesson? Have they realized that some things you can't just go, oh, we've got a premium experience? So, it's not worth that much.
Yeah, but this is where they need. I was shocked when we looked through that list of updates that are coming, because there was an update for this article. There was a list of what they're bringing out and everything else, and their supplier statements isn't until like 2025 or something daft. I was like, oh,
that
okay.
was already out. I thought they got it earlier this year and was out, and because I remember people on LinkedIn giving them a bit of grief, saying, "Oh, only been asking for it for 8 years."
I mean, this is the DEX blog, so I hope it's correct. But look, they need. I mean, this is the bits in the thing that we've said before. DEX, speaking about staying in their lane, like they can offer a premium experience, as you've already said. They can offer that. There's that chance of they brought mileage to the table. They've supply statements, I'm sure, will be there soon. There's all of those options. So I do feel like they're building their little product to be there and offer that premium, and payments is definitely something they should already do. I know they tried before, didn't they? And it kind of maybe just didn't get the take up or whatever it was.
No, it wasn't payments they tried before. So back when it was Receipt Bank, they did Receipt Bank expenses, and that was powered by Capital on Tap.
That was it. They had the little expense card idea, right? Yeah. Which actually, to be fair, isn't that a better way of doing it? Isn't that a better experience for them? I don't know.
They just didn't have the uptake.
Yeah.
Like, it got dropped very quickly. Yet Apron announced recently, did they not, that they're doing expenses, and they're looking at expense cards and stuff in 2025. So
yeah, look, they're going to be in a difficult position because everywhere they look, they've got competition. It is Otter, isn't it? I keep forgetting who it is, but they've got the AI bots now coming in to do bookkeeping and stuff like that. You'd expect really DEX to have gone down that route. We've got AI coming in left, right, and center, doing better jobs of extracting than OCR technology ever will. So, they're going to struggle to keep that maintain that relevance and be up there. It's what happens, isn't it, when you've got so much in your ecosystem, makes it really difficult to stay the top of the game on every part of it. But what is their top of the game now? Even DEX position, or DEX tis position, isn't it, the one where they do the training,
the analytics,
the analytics one, even that's struggling now against. We look at the ICB, like it was Expert and Xenon were the two standout winners, right? So what is their number one? Let's keep that the top of the priority list, that's going to absolutely propel us and keep our users happy. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because that can't be invoice capture for much longer, can it?
No.
Because e-invoicing is coming along. More and more you go out and ask for a receipt, they'll email it to you. Like,
I mean, I saw a demo the other day of an AI extractor for. It wasn't OCR; it was AI taking the information through, and it was taking handwritten notes. Like that's the future of it, right? It is just taking that handwritten note, putting it through. It's going to be tricky for them, isn't it? And I know their DEX Commerce is a really powerful solution. I know that's something that they could hang their hat on. Say, look, we
don't push it very often.
No, exactly.
You know what? So we use it only for a few clients that need it, but even now, so I logged in on a new device for the first time, and even now, some of the emails that come from DEX Commerce still come branded greenback.
Really?
Like, oh, you've logged in from a new device, and it was the greenback branding and everything. It's like, come on, guys, this is the simple stuff. How can you not rebrand an automated email? Like, if you can't get that bit right, then what are you doing with the rest of it?
And it's not still one full login experience that does it all for them or
No.
anything like that. That's still not there. Then that's what they
No.
need. They need that one ecosystem to rule them all. Yeah, it's tricky for them because it's even like with Greenback or Dex Commerce, isn't it? That it is like there's so many competitors out there. I've done videos before on what's right or wrong or what's better. And to be fair, they're all pretty much similar. There's only price point that changes it really. So yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? And you would have thought that with the new eBay rules and Amazon rules and having it over, all of that talking to HMRC palaver that's coming through, you thought that people be crying out for a e-commerce platform.
When you've got people like Free Agent building directly into it, into Amazon, you cut that problem out, don't you?
Yeah, QuickBooks offers it for free. Xero's something or other solution. Actually, no, they don't have one, but yeah, but the other two fine. But you know what I mean? Like it's really difficult to make that work, right?
Again, it all comes back to this, and I've said it for years. Buying multiple softwares and trying to smush them all into one thing does not work. Just bloody build it. Like like I was looking at one software this weekend, and I literally sent Ash a link to it and said, why am I paying £100 for this a month? Like I'm not using it, but why would I pay £100 a month for this?
Yeah. What's the value proposition?
I said, like the value is that the value would be you want it in one central location, like in your practice management software, not as another login. And it's like, Ash, could we build this? It's like, well, yeah, because if they're using those APIs, we could use those APIs. And it's like, cool. Onto the ideas list. But like, yeah, just whereas if we brought that software and tried to build it, it'd have been a nightmare. You're better off building from scratch than you are buying a software and trying to merge it in. I mean, look at it all. Look at Go Proposal, Accountancy Manager. Inform Direct at some point is going to go through this. Xero have done it with Zero Tax. How many times did they have to redo Zero Tax to get it to where it is now? And it still can't do simple things like a partnership return.
Yep.
Like, it's just...
HubDoc's still not in the product, right? Like, it's still a standalone solution that...
QuickBooks Self-Employed, that was brought off the shelf. It never really got integrated properly, and to the point they've just archived it now and gone with their own solution.
They've had to build their own. Yeah, they've learned from it. They've figured out what was right, what was wrong, and had to build it. Like, yeah.
What worries me about the software world and the accounting and bookkeeping space is how slow softwares are to learn and to witness. They're either really slow to go, didn't work for them, or they go, didn't work for them, but that's because it's them. I've got the arrogance to think it will work for me. Like, there's a lot of culture changes needed in this software world at the moment, just for the benefit of our users, basically.
And speaking of our users, should we just quickly go through some comments from our amazing community? Where did we get to? Oh, Sue says,
you both look amazing in your tuxedos. Thank you very much, Sue. We tried.
Is that with or without the Peter Pan hat?
Kirsty says, without the software, we can't work, so we really value reliability and accuracy and speed. Yep, completely get it. Marcus asks, is the software ones not judged by internal ICB? No. So the software awards at the ICB Lucas are all nominated by users and voted for by users based on numbers. It's not judged, to my knowledge. And I think Amy reiterated that to me a few times over the 24 hours. So
yeah, 100%. Steph says, one of the award winners, Steph says.
Sorry, I'm late, gents. That's all right, Steph. Just polishing your BAFTA, your Luca award there too.
Kirsty as well. We have to shout out Kirsty. She was an award winner as well. And then I've got some comments in the Insta as well. Good morning from Timmy. Good morning. Morning from Next Level Accountancy. Good morning to you. Unfortunately, we can't click on this. This is a go. If everyone could just go to StreamYard and Instagram and tell them to sort their rubbish out. Hayfield Accountant says, Aaron, how do I make myself love QB like you do? Well, just reach out to me. Just book a meeting. I'll tell you exactly how to love it. More than happy to do that. And then good morning to Hayfield Bookkeeping as well. So good morning to you all. And yeah, again, sorry we can't put you on screen like good old Marcus gets the opportunity to do. But yeah, have a go at Instagram for us, and we'll go from there.
Just sort it out.
Yeah. What's next on the agenda, Mr. Johann?
Right. Next up, Free Agent. While we're covering the last of the news, Free Agent have now introduced bills into Capture. So Free Agent's got its own capture tool, a bit like receipt capture in QuickBooks. It's always been able to do receipts. It can now take pictures and process bills as well, which is excellent news for the Free Agent users out there. Great bit of tech, very underrated and unknown, if I'm honest, that receipt capture tool they've got, and they've built it themselves, as my understanding. So great tool.
And it's built directly in, right? Like it is literally part. There was that thing, wasn't it? But yeah, no, it's built directly in. So that's good. We like
that. Right. Social post of the week.
It's back, people.
You couldn't ignore this one. Oh, we've had some fun watching this one.
Wait, so when you introduce it, can you make sure you do the full name, please?
Oh, hang on. Which full name?
Well, he was added a special letter during the Luca Awards.
Oh, yes. So this post is from friend of the show, which is really the only terminology he needs in his name. But
yeah, why is that not part of the name?
C.ICB, because he was made a companion of the ICB last week. So congratulations, Tim.
Hopefully his certificate arrived, because apparently they took it off him because they didn't feel like he was
trusted as a responsible adult. So Tim on LinkedIn, and we'll put the link into the comments for people to go and support him on this. Highlighted the, quite frankly, distasteful and awful rhetoric of some comments on an article at Accounting Web. So Accounting Web did a great, no, there's no link on that. Accounting Web did a great article covering the ICB event, and the main focus was bookkeepers, get ready to support your clients with MTD ITSA, or MTD IT as it's now called. And they covered the speaking session from HMRC, blah, blah, blah. And it was a good article.
Very good.
Well, out come the Accounting Web trolls, who ripped bookkeepers apart, made false accusations about bookkeepers will just file any bloody rubbish, blah, blah, blah. So we just wanted to highlight this. Now, Aaron, you and I have had our run-ins with trolls on Accounting Web in the past, to the point that I have refused several times in the last 18 months to actually participate in any articles or share any opinions with Accounting Web. And Richard and Tom at Accounting Web are very aware of this, because I've had conversations with them directly. Same with Jake over there. And they've reached out to me a few times saying, can we get an opinion on this? Or can we get an opinion on that? Can you be involved in this? And I've refused, because of the ability for idiots to post anonymously on the comments and be, quite frankly, disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, I have told them time and time and time again at Accounting Web, they need to stop people having usernames. People's full name must be there, because I don't think they'd behave in the same way if we could name and shame them publicly. The problem is we don't know who they actually are, because they're behind a username. But
have we ever got a reason to why it's anonymous? Like, is there a
just how it was
technical reason, or
it's how it was built? And from my understanding, it would be a huge job to redo that. And this isn't through no fault of Jake, Richard, Tom, or any of the rest of the crowd at Accounting Web. They do a fantastic job. They do police it very, very well. But when you see people get attacked by anonymous posters like this, even people like Rebecca Benneworth got ripped to shreds for doing an article about MTD ITSA, I think it was, and accusations flying that she's being paid by both sides, blah, blah, blah. Of course she supports this. She's on HMRC's payroll, blah, blah, blah. Like, people like she's a legend. The amount of good things she has done for this industry in regards to representing us to HMRC. And I don't think any of these comments would have been made if they could be named and shamed.
Yeah.
So, and it's just this little subset of idiots that are still clinging on to this whole accountants are better than bookkeepers, software's a waste of time and money. Like, they are the old school part of our industry that needs removing, because every other part of our industry has just been phenomenal for the last 7 years. We're all going forwards with technology. We're embracing change. We're embracing and supporting our clients in a way we've never done before. We're more collaborative than we've ever been before. And then we've got the 1980s stuck on the accounting web comments in anonymous names. And yeah, it really angers me. And because apparently I'm not the only one that's refused to put in opinions to articles because of the hassle that you get from the comments. And yes, all right, I could turn the comments off. Yes, I don't have to read the comments. But you know what? When someone's going up against my opinion and they want to be nasty about it, I do want to know what's been said. Like, so yeah, I mean, Accounting Web needs to change it. They need to be named and shamed. They need to get rid of usernames. But until then, like, they can only keep doing what they can do, which is policing it. I just think it's an absolute shame that it still happens in today's, what we're told is a professional industry. And clearly, for some, it's not.
Yeah. I think the bad part about this is actually we need people talking on Accounting Web. We need people commenting, but we need people putting articles up there, right? And contributing. That's the word I'm after, right? Especially in this industry at the moment where there's paid for ads, which is fine. Like, I'm nothing against them, but we need to, for the paid for ads who are obviously got an agenda to push their particular product, we need people to be balancing that with, okay, that's, but have you considered X, Y, Z? Like, that Accounting Web becomes a source of truth for accountants, right? If they're looking to find a new piece of software, if they're looking to modernize, if they're trying to take their practice to the next level, Accounting Web's always got their back. It's always there. Yeah.
And it's a great place for keeping up to date with the latest news. The podcasts are brilliant. The webinars are fantastic. The latest HMRC news, etc. It's a great place for keeping up with all of those articles.
100%.
And a few people are suggesting in the comments that, they should just be posting on social media instead. It's like, yeah, but the business model financially doesn't work that way.
Yeah, they need because they have sponsors on the page. They need people to come along, adverts, all that sort of stuff, right? And I just feel like we need to be protective of people contributing to that site, because that is a legacy that we need to maintain, right? And we need to make sure that people are pushing to it. My view is that I'm almost numb to comments now. Like, yourself, you go on social media, you post, especially on YouTube and TikTok and all that sort of stuff. We post our comments on there. We get a barrel of abuse, right? And it's one of those where you've just got to learn to blinker it out. It's not easy to do, and there's definitely some detrimental effects to your mental health doing it that way. But we kind of have to. We don't really have a choice. Like, when you throw a video out there and it gets X amount of views and so many comments, and there's a chance that some of those comments are not going to be nice. They're not going to be policed. Yeah. So I get, like, this isn't just for Accounting Web. Like, this is everywhere, isn't it? That we're getting
society in general.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And I can't control how YouTube lets people name themselves, or Facebook, or anything like that. Accounting Web, you control how
it should be a safe place, shouldn't it? That's what we're trying to say, isn't it? There is a control element to it. There is an opportunity there, and we should have it as a safe place so that anyone can put their opinion on there without being. And look, people are going to put their opinion and they're going to be questioned. Fair enough. Brilliant. Let's have a debate about it, right? But not some of this mudslinging here. That's
there's no form of professional debate in this.
No,
it's just people keyboard worrying because they can, because they know
they can rile
Yeah.
It says the word bookkeeper in, so let's go and rile the bookkeeping community, right? Like that's what they're looking for. It's a game to them, right? And yeah, we need to find a way to be able to police this better, because we need contributions on this site. We need people to be putting all manner of spin on it, and at the moment we're not quite there, and it's a massive shame, right?
Yeah, definitely. And as I say, yeah, we can't control this on TikTok. We can't control it on YouTube. Accounting Web can control this. Whether they need a new platform or not, I don't know. Like what the technical sides of it is, and I know they work tirelessly, day and night, 7 days a week, to police their communities and forum. But the fact that they feel they're obliged to have to do that tells you that there is a major problem there. Like I don't allow anonymous posting in the Engager group. There's 2,000 people in that group, and not one person feels the need to post anonymously because they don't feel supported. We make sure it's a supportive community. Whereas in other places, I can see why some people would want to post anonymously, because it's a simple question they're going to get ripped apart for, and it's like, this is just
or they could put their current position at risk because XYZ, right? There are reasons why you need that in certain circumstances. What does Accounting Web actually gain from having the opportunity?
I think it's just historic structure of the system. I honestly do. And I've chatted about this with Tom, Jake, Richard, anyone else that will listen to me for well over a year now. Like, I spoke to all three of them about it at Fab. Like, they are acutely aware that I refuse to do anything for Accounting Web until these articles, these mentions can be policed properly in the form of name and shame.
Yep. Who else? What else we got in the conversations going on about this one? Kirsty says.
Helen Bauer was to post it if she's not too busy celebrating her birthday. So Helen was made a companion as well. Yeah, fantastic.
Amazing. Paul says
Accounting Web need to turn off comments and post to social media instead. The problem is that business model won't work, Paul.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
Their whole business model works because softwares are prepared to pay a lot of money for that audience, and rightly so. But all they actually need to do is get rid of that username field and use first name, surname.
Because this day and age, we constantly having to be, hey, connected to our LinkedIn account or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it should be, so it can be bringing back. Michael says, good morning from Chicago.
Good morning from Chicago. Fantastic. And Kirsty says, congratulations to Tim Chilston for getting his companion initial as well.
Congratulations to Kirsty for getting 2 Luke Awards.
Paul Whitehouse, how much do software companies really care about their users? Most clients contact us to fix things, so software companies are very blind to their user issue. They are, and accountants and bookkeepers are in an arm of their support mechanism for a lot of softwares. But yeah, Suzanne Jack says haters are gonna hate. This is so true. And Natasha Everard says, this is one of the reasons I created my Facebook community, due to this horrible forum. There we go. Again, good morning to Aaron from Ron. Paul says, I see a lot of students of accounting and bookkeeping on Accounting Web getting ridiculed for asking for help. Yeah, again.
Toxic community, isn't it, unfortunately?
Toxic community. And it doesn't matter how hard those guys police it.
And when we're having problems getting people into the industry, the last thing we want to do is that person who's showing a bit of nounce about them, wanting to further their career, want to help, want to bring people in and get kicked in the knackers the very first time the post up.
Exactly.
We need to do better as an industry, don't we?
Yep, exactly. Right. Okay. And again, this is a minority part of our industry. We've got this amazing community. There's plenty of communities on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc.
I mean, we showed that celebrating Luca Awards, right? Like, and the AW Awards, and everyone thing we've had at the Accountex, we were celebrating people, the community there. At Fab, we were celebrating there. Like, there's so many good parts of it. We just need to find ways to, And I've got a feeling that the people causing these issues don't attend those events.
Oh, they won't attend any of those.
Yeah, which kind of says more than you need to know, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, right. Well, on that note, we will call it quits. Thank you very much for joining us again. As always, on a Monday morning, live, 8:30 till 9. We'll be back here next week for episode 108, live again, Monday morning, 8:30 till 9:30. Aaron, what have you got coming up this week?
Thankfully, it's a quiet week because next week is ridiculous. In fact, we need to talk off air about some logistical issues maybe next week after, something like that, but we'll talk about it. But yeah, no, I've got a really nice, calm week where I can finally get back on top of things. I'm looking forward to it. Working on the practice, not in the practice, muchly needed. Yeah, so looking forward to it. What about yourself? Anything exciting coming your way?
There may be one thing, but I'm not sure yet. So it might be next week. So
what a tease!
Watch this space, people.
You
watch
need to be signing in next week for Ask It. No being late like Steph was this week. We want people on time. Don't want the tardiness. We want people here on time next week for potentially some news. Ooh, what a tease, Mr. Gory.
Potentially. We'll see what happens over the next week. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you all next week at Ask the Accountant.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.